The road to greatness is alight with the wailing of broken soldiers and the whispered weeping of their women. Yet the men who are the cause of this suffering must pay them no heed. The Chola dynasty is like the elephant of the forest, a beast that can thrive only by wrecking the weeds beneath it as it marches through the undergrowth. Like the elephant, we must seize whatever opportunity we find to grow stronger, even when it means crushing those who stand in our way. My father never tires of telling me this story, but I doubt that I will pass it on to my son when the time comes to teach him the ways of emperors. Our family has ruled parts of Tamil country for over 1,000 years. Other dynasties rose and fell in the time that it took our ancestors to blink, yet greatness continued to elude us. That all changed when my father came to power. As a newly crowned ruler, he took the name Raja Raja, the King of Kings, a name that turned out to be prophetic. He has conquered many of our neighbors and turned the small Chola kingdom into a powerful empire, an empire which I am set to inherit. It is my destiny to be as great a ruler as him, perhaps an even greater one. Despite his many accomplishments, there is a shadow in his gaze. He has achieved the greatness that he sought, but in doing so, he has become corrupted by darkness. He tries to instill this darkness in me, with these fables of greatness through domination. But I do not believe that greatness and corruption are inseparable. History is evidence enough. After carving out his vast empire, Ashoka, greatest of all rulers, turned to a life of service to his people. He built hospitals for the sick and dug wells for the thirsty. Rich and poor alike throve during his reign. Is that not true greatness? To not just rule, but to rule justly? Father just shakes his head whenever I tell him this, or laughs at me if he is in a good mood. Yet he has given me a chance to prove him wrong. We are at war with our old rivals, the Chalukyan dynasty, and he has tasked me with invading their lands. I will wage a just war. When I return to Tanjavur, Raja Raja will know what his son is capable of. We have reached Chalukyan lands. I would say that the grass is greener on this side of the river, if I could see it.
The knight is our ally, Your Highness. The main Chalukyan army is sleeping nearby, and if we tread lightly, they will never know that we were here.
அப்படியே இந்த கணமே போகிறேன். முன்னேறு.
The Chalukyas have constructed a forward camp near the river. If we seize it, we could put them on the defensive and delay their attacks.
Well done, men. When morning comes, we shall use this fort to launch our attacks on the Chalukyan army.
Your Highness, I have received terrible news. Your father, Raja Raja, has passed away.
What? This cannot be. I must return to Tanjavur at once. I leave the army in your hands, General.
சரி.
little remains of our army. But if you were to rebuild our military buildings, we would be willing to aid you in the fight against the Chalukyas.
சரி ஐயா, அப்படியே இந்த கணமே போகிறேன். அப்படியே இந்த கணமே போகிறேன். அப்படியே இந்த கணமே போகிறேன். என்ன கட்டளை? அப்படியே இந்த கணமே போகிறேன். உங்கள் சித்தம். சரி.
We have done all that we can to undermine the Chalukyas. Now, let us destroy them in battle.
கட்டுவேன்.
Allies in Vengi will attack from the east at your command, Yuvaraja. But their forces are not as strong as ours. We should coordinate our attacks with them, lest the Chalukyas divide our armies and conquer them piece by piece. These peasants supply the Chalukyan soldiers with food. If we clear out the garrisons, we could deprive our enemy of supplies.
One lord takes our men to fight in his war, and the next one steals the food from our children's plates. Must we forever be trampled down into the muck?
A wise choice, Your Highness. Had we spared these peasants, they would have given us but a fraction of what they had stored here in tribute. The capital of Manyaketa is the jewel of the Chalukyan dynasty, and treasures stolen from Chola lands fill their universities. We should plunder them and humiliate the Chalukyas.
defile the jewel of my empire in this manner, have you no honor?
Victory is ours! Take whatever plunder you can find, men, and let us return home. We have an emperor to mourn, and a new one to celebrate.
Days and nights merged into a restless blur as I rode back to Thanjavur. My mind was empty, as if every thought and emotion had hidden in corners beyond my reach. It was not until I came into the palace and saw my father's body that I woke to find that the nightmare was real. The King of Kings was dead. Seeing my father's cold, grey face, knowing that he would never tell another tale about the elephants of the forests, I wept for the first time since I was a boy. He had died of old age, a quick, painless death, his wives told me, as if the abruptness with which he had left the world was any consolation for his departure. As soon as the tomb guarding his ashes had been sealed, the crown was thrust upon my head. I had longed for this day, but grief clouded whatever joy the occasion should have brought. For the common soldier, dying is small fry. Suffer as they might, they know that it is their destiny to die for their betters. But when you are among the men whose fate it is to shape the world, when every potential future that you could have created flickers out of existence as you gasp your final, miserable breath, dying is too much. It will be long before this pain subsides. Yet I must rule in spite of it. As the great tiger falls, the scavengers come out to feast on its corpse. The Empire is in turmoil after my father's death. To the west, the Sera and Pandya dynasties are rattling their sabers. In the north, the Chalukyas talk of vengeance, even as they lick their wounds from the last war. Yet, my greatest worry is the island of Sri Lanka. My father invaded the island decades ago, forcing its king Mahinda to escape into the untamed south. Now, Mahinda has returned to reclaim his old domains. All but a single town have fallen to his rebellion. If we lose Sri Lanka, it will embolden dissenters in every part of the empire to rise up against me. That cannot be allowed to happen. I must finish what my father began. King Mahinda is assaulting our only remaining settlement on the island. Hurry to shore, men, before the Sri Lankan ships catch up to us.
You arrived in the nick of time, Your Highness. A number of Sri Lankan patrols have been spotted heading this way. We must hold the walls while our navy defends the harbor.
The Cholas are hanging on for dear life. Drive them into the sea!
சரி சரி ஐயா.
Hold fast, men. Let them crash into your swords and drop broken and bleeding in the dirt. It is over, Mahinda. You will live out your days as a prisoner in Thanjavur. And when you perish, so will the last hope of Sri Lankan independence.
It appears that my army was like a forest of rotten trees, breaking at the first strike. But fear not, Rajendra. I will be back for you.